The Raptors lose a heartbreaker against the Atlanta Hawks in overtime, 124-122. Welcome to Raptors Tonight. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Sherman Hamilton, Jack Armstrong, and Paul Jones. Jack, the coach, what happened on that last play, first of all?
Well, the last play in overtime?
Yes, the last play.
They obviously lost Mr. Griffin.
Yeah.
And, it's something Raptor fans will talk about for a while in terms of what happened, how it happened, when it happened, all that. I'm still a little confused in terms of what I saw and how it happened, but nonetheless, it did happen. So no, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little confused by how he got loose.
Yeah, so was I.
The most important thing is to keep the ball in front of you.
Right.
The most important thing, and obviously, we all think in our mind that Trae Young is going to be the guy. He's going to have the ball, and he's going to handle it. He's going to throw up a crazy shot to win it. But nonetheless, at all costs, never let anyone behind you. It's like the free safeties rule, and yet it happened. So it's something that they're going to have to look at and correct, obviously, because it's something you rarely see happen, but it happened.
Randall, to me, as Jack said, he brought up the point about rare. And I chalk it up to start with a lack of communication. All right? When we make this free throw, what are we doing defensively? We're going to tie the game. They have no timeouts. What are we doing? Match up. Remember in high school when the guy's taking a foul shot and you're going into your man pressure? Who you got? Who you got? Who you got? Everybody's responsible for a man. I saw DeAndre Hunter with a free in. No ball pressure to start with. Okay, sometimes that happens. Trae Young was being denied by Thad Young. The ball goes past Thad's level. Trae cuts to the ball. Nobody picks him up. Now he takes it, and he takes one dribble, and there are four guys behind him. And Jack, the last line of defense, when you're the goalie, don't leave the net unprotected. Don't leave the door open. If Trae Young is going to beat you, which he can, with a half court or just inside half court runner or pull up three from 41 feet, then let him beat you there. And it also reinforces to a lot of people how much time 4 seconds is, 3.8 seconds is in the game of basketball. So, we can pick that play apart, but I'm going to go back to the end of regulation.
Georgia, I would say you were just frozen there for 3 seconds, and it seemed like an eternity. So
98% of the time, Scotty Barnes makes that layup. 98% of the time. So, and look, I said this on the radio. With 44 minutes into the game, if this was a fight, an MMA fight, or a heavyweight prize fight, and you said, stop it right now, who deserves to win on the judges' cards? It would be the Raptors. And they just couldn't finish it off.
Yeah, Sherman, your thoughts. Hit me.
I don't know. I saw that last play a bit differently. The Raptors were trying to deny Trae Young the ball, where I thought maybe you let him get it, but everybody wall up and make him come to you with 3.8 seconds left. Once that ball goes over the top on a front, on a denial for Trae Young, then we know he's coming back to the ball. And if you watch the play, Clint Capella sets a good screen and occupies two Raptor defenders. And Trae Young kind of splits that seam like a running back, and he's gone and he's off to the races. OG had to know AJ Griffin was behind him. That's why OG was back there. He's a safety. The issue for OG is you have Trae Young coming down, and I think when he passed that ball, the amount of time it took in the air, if Trae Young took another dribble or two, he would have been easily, 6 feet from the three-point line, which is an easy shot for Trae Young. So OG has to make a decision now. Does he come up to meet that shot, or does he lay back there and let Trae shoot the ball? Either decision is wrong because you're in a bad spot. So he doesn't have a choice. He makes the decision to come up to Trae Young. He ends up in no man's land. But that's a set play that's run by Atlanta to free Trae Young up, to get him with a full head of steam on a denial on the inbounds. And now he's playing a numbers game as he plays in the open court.
Well, and Sherman, I hear you with, and let's give Nate McMillan credit for a great play, and that's the part of it that maybe we should acknowledge as well, because that is a set play. But and we see the Raptors go back and forth with it. Sometimes they pressure the ball on the inbound, sometimes they don't. I just thought in that case, you had to have, and this is just philosophical, you had to have somebody on the ball to avert any kind of easy inbound pass, the one that might go to half court, or make that pass, make somebody, if not Trae Young, the passer, come back to get that ball, to give you a little bit more time. And you're right. The only thing OG can do is stunt at that point from back there, kind of go at it, help, go toward the ball, and maybe back up. But you're right, Sherm. He had to make a decision, and whichever one he made was wrong, because, I mean, I would have said, hey, Trae Young, beat me with a 30-footer, which could have happened. And then people would have said, well, why didn't you go out and challenge him? So you're right, Sherman, in that sense. There was no good decision there.
All that could have been moot, though, Jack, because, they're up 8 with 2.5 to go in the fourth. That's a game, in my opinion, you have to hold on to. What do you tell your team? I know the game, it's a game of runs, and it can change quickly, but with this team and the level of confidence I have in Fred and running the team, I just felt like that's a game that they should win. What do you tell your team as a coach after a game like that?
Well, I didn't come into this game with the same feeling you have right now. I came into this game feeling that this would be a game they'd be very fortunate to hang around in, and maybe keep it close in some way, shape, or form. I never, in my wildest dreams, expected them to be up 8 with 2.5 minutes left.
For sure.
I mean,
yeah.
I never thought that. So you just don't have the right people in place to finish games. You have guys that are just you're the mix, the combination you have is such that you're asking a lot of people. So to me, I think they played a really good game tonight, and they came up short. I don't go away from this game. I go away from this game disappointed about how the last play happened in overtime. That disappointed me. But I don't go away from, even with 2.5 minutes left, with up 8, I don't go away like completely devastated about the fact that they lost the game, because I thought they played really well the whole night. I thought 100%. They went on the road and played a great game and played with tremendous attention to detail and passion. I thought they outplayed Atlanta. I just don't think that they had enough manpower to win this game. And it's a 48-minute game, not a 45-minute game. And to me, so I don't go away like questioning, like they should have done this and they should have done that. In overtime on that last play, yes, that bothers me. But overwhelmingly, I come away from saying, like, hey, man, I saw a lot of really good things tonight. Thad Young was great.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes was great tonight. Eric
Hernan Gomez, yeah.
Yeah, he's playing well. Yeah. Malachi Flynn's got playing with some swag. So, I'm taking away a lot of really good things from tonight, because I didn't come into this game with any high expectations whatsoever based upon who they were playing. So I don't get all caught up in the fact that, hey, man, you're up 8 with 2.5 to play. I come away going, yeah, they played. I look at the 53-minute experience. I thought they played really well.
Yeah, I'm still caught up in it, and probably a lot of Raptor fans are. But
that's okay.
Yeah, you guys are right, though. There were so many good performances tonight, and I want to highlight OG Sherman, because I saw him go to the line a couple times down 2 and calmly make both free throws each time. he's developing something, eh? He's developing a clutch gene here.
Well, I think OG's given the opportunity to take some chances, to do some things, to be in those moments that he wouldn't normally be in based on personnel being in the lineup. He's doing a great job. I mean, he's having winning impact consistently. And no, he didn't have one of his explosive 30-plus point scoring games, but he had a good offensive game. And as you mentioned, down the stretch, he made plays, whether it was at the free throw line or just the decision to attack the basket and make a play at the rim. Just take what the defense gave you instead of trying to manufacture a three-point shot. Like, he just did some good things out there. So he's moving into a space that when Pascal comes back, Nick Nurse has another real legitimate weapon that he knows he can trust. And it's going to be interesting to see how Nick Nurse juggles that. Pascal's your best player. OG has shown that he's ready to take more responsibility. And Nick Nurse is really good at working through those type of different scenarios to figure out the best mix, the best way to take advantage of all skills. So it's going to be interesting down the stretch to see how OG and he continues to develop with this new confidence, this new level of execution in his game.
And Jonesy, this is now 2 good games in a row for Scotty. Just outstanding basketball. I know he missed the layup at the end of regulation, but he's got that energy, that passion back, it seems.
Yeah, I don't think he ever lost it, Randy. You know, we talked about this on our Raptors Today show, how the weight of expectations are causing people to look at Scotty different. And his numbers are basically the same as they were last year. He's also in a different role. Look at how
down
much
on
ball
points,
handling,
down on rebounds a little bit. Yeah.
a little bit, but 3-point shooting better, walking people into the lane and drawing the defense. I mean, OG gets one tonight where Scotty late in the game just walks DeJounte Murray into the lane. And when the alarm bells go off, he pitches it out and OG has a wide open 3. That's something that Pascal was doing when he was in the lineup. So I'm not nearly as worried about Scotty and those expectations as people think. He's playing well. And as I said, he's in a bit of a different role right now in terms of initiating the offense, handling the ball, trying to save some wear and tear on Fred. So to me, that's a non-issue. I thought they deserved to win this game tonight. Unfortunately, like I said, it didn't go to the judges' scorecards at 44 minutes. As Jack said, it's a 48-minute game, and they weren't able to get it done.
And Randy, I got to say this. I mean, you made a point about, you know, the expectations. They're unrealistic expectations, in my opinion. I mean, when I have people in the summer telling me I wouldn't trade Scotty Barnes straight up for Kevin Durant. I mean, like, let's be real. Kevin Durant's a Hall of Famer, okay? Scotty Barnes is going into his second year in the NBA. Scotty Barnes is a heck of a player. He's a terrific player. But I think people got completely, totally out of hand in terms of what their expectations are for Scotty Barnes. So he's off 2 points from where he was last year. I mean, people are preparing to play him in a totally different way. The Raptors are different. The NBA is different. Here's my thing.
I just meant that I saw more of his characteristic joy these last couple of games. You know, I feel like I think there's probably a little bit.
I get joy. I get joy. No, but I get joy. But part of it is idiotic people put so much pressure on a guy that you can't have joy anymore. That now you have to be a Hall of Famer in your second year. And you're not ready to be a Hall of Famer in your second year. You're not ready yet. I want every Raptor fan that's watching tonight, and Jonesy and Sherman, you guys know this, and we were there when we saw it firsthand. And watching Scotty play, he reminds me, not completely, but in little bits and pieces of Tracy McGrady. Okay? Now, Tracy McGrady came right out of high school. Scotty had 1 year at Florida State, so there's a 1 year difference. But if you look at the first 3 years of Tracy McGrady, and if you look at the first 2 years of Scotty Barnes, Tracy McGrady ended up being a Hall of Famer. Tracy McGrady, really, the light didn't come on until his second half of his third year.
Mm-hmm.
And Scotty Barnes, the lights already come on way before that. It came on in his first year, and it's still on in his second year. So people need to just slow down and relax, because McGrady ended up being a Hall of Famer over the long haul. And I think Scotty Barnes has a chance to be really, really good. Does he have a chance to be Tracy McGrady? Does he have a chance to be a Hall of Famer? I have no idea. But to put all this crazy, nonsensical, stupid, unrealistic expectation on this kid so early is off the charts. I like the kid as a player. I like the kid, period. And people need to back off.
Mm-hmm. Well, you heard it from Jack. I like it. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think that expectations also just don't come out of thin air. There's expectations because he showed you a body of work that is, uncharacteristic of a player that young. And so people think, oh my God, look at what I'm seeing. Look at what I potentially could see. So I think that's where it comes from. But another guy, Sherman, I think that's playing great lately, and he got some extended minutes today, is Malachi Flynn. What are you seeing from him that's making him so successful? Because he changed the game today.
Well, obviously he's getting more confident. Jack used the word swag.
Mm-hmm.
Playing with swag. He's out there. He's balling. Like, he's out there with in a comfort zone when he's playing. Not that he's in his zone, but he's in a comfort zone. He knows, and he's getting more confident in what he can do. I mean, he's getting the ball, he's squaring people up, and he's going in his bag, and he's breaking them down and getting separation to get shots off. So he's, this is a young man I'm really impressed with. His first few years in the league have not gone to script probably for him, but he has found a way every time his name has been called to just be ready to perform and put an honest, hard effort out there. And he's really won me over as a fan based on that mentality. And the more minutes he gets, the more opportunity he gets, he seems to step into them with confidence. He seems to step in it with, I deserve this. I can do this. I can get the job done. And tonight was no different. And it was unfortunate that he fouled out, because the way he was playing, he could add significant impact in that overtime to help this team.
Right.
So I love what he's doing, and I love the fact that Nick is rolling him out there. He's taking advantage of his opportunities, but he's responsible, and he's playing some really, really good basketball right now.
Mm-hmm.
Season high for Malachi in points, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And I've said this dating back to probably the All-Star break last year. Malachi Flynn has already become a good young professional. He had a year in Tampa that they let him run. They let him go. It was a year where the development was high and the expectations were I wouldn't say low, but they weren't quite in line with playoffs and all of the commensurate issues. Then the second year, he's basically confined to the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get a lot of time, but keeps himself ready. And whenever he got in, he performed, and he performed well. And we're seeing, an extension, an extrapolation of that this year. Same thing. He's in the fridge for some games. He's sitting there with his warm-ups on 2-3 games in a row. But when his number's called, like a professional, he's ready. He knows what to do. He's not making mistakes out there. He fits in, to Sherm's point about his confidence. It's like, all right, I haven't played, but this ain't my first birthday party. I know how to light the cake. I know how to blow out the candles. I know how to cut it. I know how to serve it. I know how to put the forks out. I know how to wash up the dishes. I've been here before. I don't do it all the time, but I know how this thing works.
I know how to eat the cake.
And so to me,
you missed one.
I know this young man has become a good young professional, and he is a guy that the Raptors can count on when his number is called.
I'll say this. We're so obsessed in 2022 with defensive switchability, because every team switches and size matters. But if you remember, the Raptors played really small in the backcourt with Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet, and it worked out just fine. They figured it out. Somehow, some way, it worked out.
Mhm.
And there were times tonight they had Fred VanVleet and Malachi Flynn on the floor, and somehow, some way, they figured it out because these guys compete, and they compete the right way. So I agree with what Jonesy said. Malachi Flynn is a guy that, to me, has hung in there and battled and fought the good fight. And here he is when his minutes have come. He's done a good job. And I think we get caught up in the fact that, hey, he's not 6'8", he's not this, he's not that. But I like to focus on what he is. And what he is a very good competitor. He's got good understanding of how to play. He plays tough. He can score. Yeah, he's got some issues in terms of being able to guard in the post on switches. He's going to have some challenges. But you know what? Fred VanVleet had that. Kyle Lowry had that. Every small guard has that. But you know what? The good outweighs the bad if you have a guy with spirit and toughness and willingness to compete. And this young man has that.
I thought Juancho Sherman, real quick, had some good minutes. He really set the tone for me early on. He was active.
Yeah, he was. He had a couple steals in that first quarter. He had some deflections in that first quarter. And offensively, he knows how to play.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a guy who's going to try and do things outside of what he knows he can do. And that kind of discipline, when you get an opportunity and you're trying to impress the coaches and you're trying to get more minutes, it's not consistent. You know, guys try to do too much sometimes. He doesn't. But he understands how to play. That's the biggest thing. He knows how to play the game, and he fits in well with what's on the floor. I always talk about this, you know, be a star in your role. And I thought he was a classic example of a guy who has a role. He got the starting nod, didn't change his personality on the floor, and stayed true to who he was. So I was really impressed. And he's been building towards this. He's had some good games prior to this where he's made some good decisions, made some shots. So it's good to see him take advantage of this opportunity the right way.
Yeah. And Jonesy, you're shouting out Western University here. Is this what's happening?
Hey, hey, this is I got in trouble. I couldn't go tonight, but I got in trouble last night going to the game between York and my Western and my alma mater, York. It's a gym where I got 3 banners up there hanging for conference championships, and you know, my Hall of Fame plaque is up there, and I wore the sweatshirt of the opponent into the gym and made a left turn instead of a right turn and sat on the opponent's side.
Jonesy, that ain't right, man. That ain't right.
Hey,
it's
my
right,
money
though.
is here now. My money is here because that's where my kid goes to school. I got a lot of sideways looks, Randy, from other alum, but hey, man, blood's thicker than anything else. So it's really cool to be in a gym where I ran up and down 25, 30, 35 years ago, and to see my son play on the same court, it made me a little bit misty-eyed to watch him out there doing his thing.
And by the way, can I quote Jonesy? Randall, I know Jonesy calls you Randall, okay?
Yeah.
Randall, don't allow all these Twitter people that are slagging Scotty Barnes to affect your opinion of how you view Scotty Barnes. Because, by the way, Twitter's going to be out of business in a few weeks, okay? And so thank God, those people's opinion.
Jack, don't believe it, Jack. They don't
know anything about basketball.
Twitter ain't going anywhere.
Hey, no.
It's going somewhere.
Scotty,
I hope it goes somewhere else.
Scotty, to me.
Okay, so don't allow those people that are killing a very good young player. And again, I want Raptor fans that have half a brain to look at the first 3 years of Tracy McGrady's career, and I want them to look at Scotty Barnes' first year and a half of his career and say, by the way, that kid's playing pretty good. Let's calm down a bit. Okay, that's my point. That's only what I'm saying.
I think you misunderstood me, Jack. I think Scotty's special. I think he's going to be unbelievable as his career, transpires here. I like when I see that.
You were getting pretty negative there, Randy. You would lead me down a bit.
No, I like seeing Scotty. I
I
like seeing
didn't-
Scotty when he's clapping in guys' faces. I like
okay.
that. I want to see that energy as much as I can. That's the only thing. I've been seeing that lately, which is good. And I think he's good. I think he's honestly been
Sherman's
banged up
dancing.
too.
Sherman's dancing right now. He's
Oh, God.
dancing on his
I'm the
joint.
biggest. I'm the
Yeah.
biggest Scotty supporter there is. I'm on. I'm
Okay,
on.
well, he's
I'm in
dancing.
group chats, gassing this guy up like nonstop. I love Scotty's play. So don't worry about that, Jack. All right, guys, gonna stop it there. Raptors are off for the next 3 days before they host the Brooklyn Nets on Wednesday. Tip-off goes at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget, we'll be at Real Sports after the game, so come on by and watch the show live. Thanks for watching.
No more
and
Twitter.
We'll see you next time.
Send your questions into Randy on Twitter.
Hey,
Directly.
hit me up.
Send them directly to Randy.
Hit me up.